Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
This is the closing bell on the Stock Movers Report. The companies making moves at the close of U.S. trading with Carol Massar, Tim Stenovec, Romaine Bostick, and Scarlet Fu.
Let's get to some of the individual gainers in today's session. There was a lot to choose from. AMD, that's your number one gainer in the NASDAQ 100, number two gainer in the S&P 500. Stock up 8.8%. You really did see a broad rally in the semiconductor space, but Piper Sandler said products unveiled last week by AMD were positive and expects a snapback for the GPU business in the company's fourth quarter. You also had BNP Paribas come out, an analyst there saying in a call on AMD held with Friday with analysts that they sent a reassuring message heading into results next month with AI traction increasing for AMD's Instinct GPUs. So some really a lot of optimism there when it comes to AMD. Estee Lauder, next name for me, number one gainer in the S&P 500, and that stock up just shy of 11%, so pretty much closing at its best levels of the day. China retail sales grew 6.4% last month. That's the fastest pace since December of 2023 and exceeded all estimates. So those names like an Estee Lauder that have a big Chinese exposure really gaining today. I should point out Nike, Starbucks, Canada Goose also gaining in today's session. We also should point out that yesterday some sad news from the Estee Lauder community. That is that Leonard Lauder, which was one of the sons of Estee Lauder, the founder of the company, passing away. A long time, obviously, in terms of running and strategy for that company in particular. And then I just want to mention WBD. I hope I gave the right ticker. Warner Brothers Discovery. Did I mess up?
You messed up.
I messed up.
Hey, but it's still a gainer.
I realized it. Yeah, but that's not where I want to go. But anyway, WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery. That is your number two gainer, I believe, in the S&P 500. Forgive me, Finley. I messed up. Up 7.3%. Warner Brothers Discovery, and that's after the company won enough support from creditors to overhaul its debt as part of a plan to split the entertainment giant into two separate companies. I'm so sorry.
Can I just add an honorable mention? Because when I ran the most function, the number one gainer across all of the tapes was some tiny biotech company, Regencell, which I might be mispronouncing. It was basically a penny stock about a month ago. It's now trading at $59 a share. Wow. It had a big stock split today, 38 for 1. It rallied as much as 400% on the day. This was a stock that had a market cap of a few $100 million just a few weeks ago. It now has a market cap of almost $30 billion today.
What's the short position on that puppy?
I haven't looked, but I'm sure it must be
now.
High. Yeah.
Not now.
Wow. Okay, let's get to some
it has no profit,
decliners.
no revenue, or anything else, too.
Yeah.
So,
That's a good honorable mention.
Good honorable mention. Romaine always says the good honorable mentions. Hey, let's start with Lockheed Martin in terms of decliners today, down 4%. This news just breaking after, and it's not the reason why it's lower. Lockheed Martin did name a new chief technology officer, that just crossing moments ago. We did see U.S. defense stocks erase earlier session gains that we saw today. This after we heard from the president, who said Iran wants to talk about de-escalating the conflict with Israel. Northrop Grumman and L3 Harris Technologies also fell in terms of defense stocks today. Lockheed Martin, though, the worst performer on a percentage basis in the S&P 500. Also moving lower today, energy names among the worst performing sectors in the S&P 500. Diamondback Energy down 2.5%. Energy companies also falling, with oil prices on expectations there would be less disruption to oil supplies. Diamondback Energy, the worst performing energy name in the S&P 500. And then a biotech name that fell a lot today, Sarepta Therapeutics, down 42%. The company's gene therapy for a rare muscle disorder has been linked to the death of a 15-year-old boy. It's the second patient to die of acute liver failure while being treated with the therapy. Shares fell today by 42%.
Ooh, well, on that note, thanks, Tim. I guess I'll go to yields. So there was a sell-off in the bond market pretty much all across the curve. The back end getting hit the hardest with the yields up by about 6 to 5 basis points. 20-year auction went off without a hitch. But just so interesting when you have these kind of headlines and you're still seeing selling in the Treasury market. Same with the dollar. Just raises the question, at least for me, like where do bonds on the dollar fit as a safe haven asset in your portfolio? I know we're all taking a breath after Friday, but there are still so many risks out there. And yes, they're hard to price, but at least we know that they come from Iran and Israel right now. And yet still we're not necessarily 100% pricing that in at all.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.